everybody. It is tied up at the half of the third week of Monday Night Football for the year, and we are joining you here live. So if you guys have come to join us for the 5 halftime questions we are doing every week during Monday Night Football, welcome, welcome. Tonight we have some NFL firsts. So I have 5 NFL firsts questions, kind of arranged to them. So with that being said, no further ado, we can go ahead and hop into things. Before we do get started, I am going to say that the Cincinnati Bengals, if anyone associated with your team is watching Last Call and the rest of the city of Cincinnati, would love for you guys to win a football game. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into our first question of our halftime 5. What team recently became the first in the NFL to own their own airplanes for team travel? Again, our first question tonight. What team recently became the first in the NFL to own their own airplanes for team travel? If you guys think you know the answer, just go ahead and throw it on there, and I will let you know if you're correct. And if we don't have any guesses by the time I get finished with the 5th question, I'll go ahead and go over them again and let you know which answers were correct. So again, I'm going to read that for you one more time. What NFL team recently became the first to own their own airplanes for team travel? So give you a little bit time and all that over, and we are going to hop into our second NFL firsts question. This one goes a little bit further back than that first question. Question number 2. Who was the first NFL player to be featured on a Wheaties box? Who was the first NFL player to be featured on a Wheaties box? If anybody knows that, go ahead and chime in. Nobody has guessed the airplane question. And we're on question number 2. Who was the first NFL player to be featured on a Wheaties box? That being said, we're going to hop into our third question. Who was the first NFL coach to lead 2 different teams to the Super Bowl? Who was the first NFL coach to lead 2 different teams to the Super Bowl? So, we got cereal, we got planes, we got Super Bowl. We're including it all here tonight on your 5 halftime questions, Monday Night Football. All right, moving on to question number 4. I don't have any guesses yet. If you think you know one of those, let us know. Who was the first NFL running back to rush for 10,000 career yards? Again, who was the first NFL running back to rush for 10,000 career yards? So, 4 questions in. We are going to move right on to, oh, we got an answer. Jake, you are absolutely correct. Jim Brown was the first running back to rush for 10,000 yards in his career. It is not Troy Aikman, Bobby. I think it's a little bit further back than that. But yeah, keep the guesses coming. With that, we're going to move on to our 5th question, and I will go over the first 3 actually, if you are just now joining us. So, in 1967, who became the first NFL quarterback to pass for 4,000 yards? Again, in 1967, who became the first NFL quarterback to pass for 4,000 yards? It is not, the Wheaties one is not OJ either. Nope. So, all right, guys, we are going to go back to question number 1. I think some of you guys joined us since I asked that, so this might be the first time you're hearing it. What team recently became the first in the NFL to own their own airplanes for team travel? What NFL team recently became the first to own their own airplanes for team travel. If you think you know it, I'll give you guys a little bit more time on that one. And then, again, who was the first NFL player to be featured on a Wheaties box? Who was the first NFL coach to lead 2 different teams to the Super Bowl? And then again, in 1967, who became the first NFL quarterback to pass for 4,000 yards? So, question number 1, the airplanes, that would be the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots are the first to own their own airplanes for team travel. The Wheaties box. Wheaties box. The coach is not Mike Holmgren. Nope. The Wheaties box answer, guys, is Mr. Walter Payton. And I'm going to go down to the 4,000 yards one just to give you maybe another shot at the coach. In 1967, who became the first NFL quarterback to pass for 4,000 yards? That would be Mr. Joe Namath. Joe Namath was the answer to that. And the 2 different teams to the Super Bowl is not Pete Carroll. This is the first. That would be Mr. Don Shula. Don Shula was the answer. I think Pete Carroll is the college one. So guys, that'll do it for me tonight. Thank you very, very much for joining us. So share this if you guys are watching this at a bar with your friends. Share some of these questions. Even act like you knew them in the first place. And we will see you guys next Monday at halftime. Have a wonderful night, and I hope your team wins. Have a good one.